everybody, I'm Beaton, your friendly pop culture loving ringtail host, and this is Trash Can Tidbits. Last time, I asked the question, true or false? James McAvoy did not shave his head for X-Men First Class. The answer is false. Going into filming, he did in fact shave his head under the impression that Charles Xavier would be bald. But the director, Matthew Vaughn, neglected to tell him that Xavier would have a full head of hair. McAvoy wore a hairpiece for First Class and then grew out his hair much longer for Days of Future Past. He finally appeared bald in the climax of X-Men Apocalypse and remained so for the rest of his tenure as the beloved mutant professor. Now with that taken care of, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that the Italian Job not only pokes fun at Napster, but also has a cameo from one of its co-founders? In the 2003 heist film, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, the character Lyle, played by Seth Green, claims to be the real inventor of the music-sharing service, Napster. A flashback in the movie shows Lyle in college sleeping at his desk, and his roommate is Sean Fanning, one of the real founders of Napster, in a cameo playing himself. Fanning proceeds to steal a floppy disk from Lyle's computer that has the service's source code on it. There is also heavy metal playing in the background and Metallica posters on the wall. This is in reference to the fact that Metallica were vocal critics of Napster and were one of many music groups to sue the creators to have the service shut down in 2001. Nevertheless, in the Italian Jobs universe, Lyle spends the entire movie berating Sean Fanning for stealing what would have been his own success. And for extra measure, due to the rest of his crewmates having nicknames like Left Ear or Handsome Rob, he insists on being called Napster for the rest of the movie. Fact 2. Did you know that the genesis for the Kingdom Hearts series came about from a little bit of eavesdropping? Square Enix employee and designer Tetsuya Nomura, who was a character designer alongside Final Fantasy mainstay Yoshitaka Amano and the primary designer for Final Fantasy VII, overheard a conversation between two of his bosses, Shinji Hashimoto and Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. The two men were talking about trying to get the rights to use Mickey Mouse for a video game collaboration with Disney. Taken with this idea, Nomura took down some preliminary notes and pitched his game idea to the two men, who approved, and then formally pitched the game to Disney themselves, who also approved. Nomura was appointed the game's creator and director. The game was going to have a simple story, but Sakaguchi, in true Final Fantasy fashion, wanted the game to have a deep storyline that would not only incorporate dozens of Disney characters, but also Final Fantasy characters, leading to one of the most beloved video game franchises of all time. Fact 3. Did you know that the producers of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom originally wanted to shoot the film in India where the movie takes place? One specific location in particular caught their attention. The Amber Palace, located in Jaipur, which was to be used as the Maharaja's palace, a front for the thuggy cult seen in the movie. The Indian government wanted to see the script first and objected to almost everything that portrayed their country in either a positive or a negative light, including the use of the word Maharaja. In the end, the production decided not to shoot in India at all and moved the entire location shoot to Sri Lanka instead. As for the palace, Steven Spielberg and the crew built the palace's courtyard and interior sets on the backlot of Elstree Studios in England. The long-shot exteriors of the palace were matte paintings. Fact 4. Did you know that a robotic character created for a movie about Greek mythology was specifically designed to cash in on Star Wars? In the 1981 movie Clash of the Titans, the main hero, Perseus, gains a comic sidekick in the form of a mechanical owl named Bubo. Bubo was created just for the movie in an attempt to capitalize on the popularity of R2-D2 and C-3PO from Star Wars, which had been released 4 years earlier. The movie even went so far as to release a toy line from Mattel to also compete with Kenner's very successful Star Wars line. Although Bubo didn't have a toy made of it until many years later, other characters in the film that were made into action figures in 1981 included Perseus, Calibos, and the Kraken. The latter has become one of the most sought-after toys for collectors over the years. Fact 5. Did you know that there are only 3 instances of the F-bomb being heard in the musical Hamilton? The Broadway cast album comes with a content warning label as a result. The The first is sung by Hercules Mulligan during the song Yorktown in his A Tailor Spying on the British Government verse. It went, "Hercules Mulligan, I need no introduction. When you knock me down, I get the back up again." The second is during the song Washington on Your Side, where Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Aaron Burr specifically sing the line, "Southern motherfucking Democratic Republicans." And the third is an incomplete F-bomb uttered by Alexander Hamilton during the song Say No to This, where he has an affair with Mariah Reynolds and receives a blackmail message from her husband. The first two F-bomb drops were censored when Hamilton was filmed and released on Disney Plus in 2020, but since the third was incomplete, that one ironically stayed in to secure a PG-13 rating. Fact 6. Did you know that singer Chris Daughtry could have been the frontman for another rock band at one point? Daughtry auditioned for the 5th season of American Idol, and though he barely made it to the Hollywood preliminaries, his voice and stage presence instantly became a fan favorite, making it to the top 12 and then the top 4, where he was eliminated. Katharine McPhee ended up winning that year, but Daughtry still remains one of the show's best contestants. The story for him didn't end with American Idol, though. After his elimination, he revealed that he'd gotten an offer from the 90s alt-rock band Fuel to be their new lead singer. Chris Daughtry had performed Fuel's hit song Hemorrhage in My Hands in the top 24 to thunderous acclaim from the fans and the judges. This was around the time that Fuel's lead singer, Brett Scallions, had left the band. But the rest of the group were so impressed with his performance. Daughtry ended up politely declining the offer and instead formed his own self-titled band, which is still going strong today. And one more tidbit regarding Chris Daughtry. In Season 2 of The Masked Singer, his character of the Rottweiler made it to the show's finale, singing a cover of Sia's song, Alive. The cover was later released as a single, making him the only performer on The Masked Singer to do so. Fact 7. Did you know that the character of Meryl from Metal Gear Solid was originally going to be much younger than she is in the game? Gamers everywhere know at this point that Hideo Kojima uses a lot of movie references in his games, and one subplot in MGS is the implied romance between Solid Snake and Meryl Silverburgh, the daughter of his commander-in-chief, Colonel Roy Campbell. However, Meryl was originally written to be 12 to 13 years old, a reference to the movie Leon the Professional. In that movie, 12-year-old Matilda, played by Natalie Portman, not only learns the tricks and trades of professional killing from her hitman next-door neighbor Leon, but also falls in love with him, despite being way too young for him. The only reason that Meryl was made older wasn't because she was underage, it was because her weapon of choice, the Desert Eagle, was too dangerous to be handled by a 12-year-old girl. So Kojima wrote her as an adult, still an idealistic rookie and desperate to be a soldier, but still a bit younger than the jaded Solid Snake. Fact 8. Did you know that despite his impeccable-sounding British accent and voice, Benedict Cumberbatch has always struggled to say one word? During an interview on The Graham Norton Show, the talk show host revealed that Cumberbatch once provided voiceover for a 2009 BBC documentary series called Wild Pacific about the various animals living in or migrating to the South Pacific Islands. In one episode, Cumberbatch could not say the word penguin correctly, instead pronouncing it as penguins or even penglings. The Doctor Strange star has occasionally been made fun of it in other interviews since. Not only that, but the flub has even made its way into one of Cumberbatch's own movies. He provided the voice for the handsome and debonair husky Agent Classified in the hilariously titled 2014 animated movie Penguins of Madagascar, and still kept pronouncing the word penguin wrong. It's just one word, Ben, it's not that hard. Fact 9. Did you know that Margot Robbie has starred in 3 movies that involve breaking the fourth wall, but her character has only done so in 2 of them? For those who don't know, breaking the fourth wall is when a character speaks directly to the camera, in effect, talking to the audience. It happens a lot in cartoons and other movies, notably the Deadpool movies, among many others. Anyway, Margot memorably does so in I, Tonya, where she played disgraced Olympic figure skater Tonya Harding. She gives her own perspective of what happened to her ruined career. The other movie is The Big Short, where she plays herself in a cameo. She is memorably seen in a bathtub talking about mortgage-backed securities, which is used as a narrative device, or more accurately, having a beautiful woman explain what the heck is going on in the movie. The final movie that featured Robbie but does not have any fourth wall breaking from her is The Wolf of Wall Street, her breakout role as Naomi LaPaglia, who does not speak into the camera. It's important to note, though, that there technically is a fourth Margot Robbie movie where fourth wall breaking does happen, but it was done by the narrator. Helen Mirren does the narration in Barbie. She even specifically mentions Margot by name. Coincidentally, Ryan Gosling plays Ken in that movie and is also in The Big Short. Fact 10. Did you know that the director of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, Jeff Fowler, is no stranger to the Sonic franchise as a whole? The third Sonic movie has the debut of Shadow the Hedgehog, the game series' memorable antihero. Fowler got his start in the games industry, specifically working at Sega on the standalone Shadow the Hedgehog video game. He worked as a cutscene animator and CGI character artist, working on scenes within the main narrative. It was one of his first jobs in the VFX industry, and as such, felt a personal affinity to Shadow as a whole. Fowler even got to work on the moment in the game's opening cutscene where Sonic collapses in front of Shadow, a moment that was recreated in the movie almost frame by frame, completely coming full circle. And here's today's trivia question. The game SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is still a classic game, even receiving an HD remaster in recent years for modern consoles. All the characters retain their voice actors from the show, apart from one. My question to you is, which voice actor from SpongeBob does not play their character in Battle for Bikini Bottom? And there we go for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It's fun bringing you cool content like this. I love useless trivia. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell to be notified for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time!